Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and with me I've got Brett Willis. Hey, Brett.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I'll just confess to the world, thanks for being here again.
We're back.
Because people were listening to this. Hopefully they're listening to this in order, right? The podcast before this one, I believe this is episode 623. So episode 622 was your interview on this podcast. But we went long because we were just like chatting about lots of fun things.
Yeah.
Like we were before we started recording now.
Yeah.
And we went so long that you had to take off.
Yes.
You actually had to go do something important. Yeah. So now you're back.
We're back.
And nobody knows because they're just going to follow one after the other. Here. But to us, there was a break.
Yes. Yeah. I made sure to wear the same shirt just in case.
Are you really?
Yeah, I am.
Nice.
I remember I saved it. I was like, we gotta.
Nice.
Gotta
you
make
kept the
sure,
mojo. I'm actually wearing a new shirt. Proudly, I'm trying out mediums for a change.
Okay.
My V-necks are now medium instead of large because I managed to lose some weight over the year.
Tennis?
Yeah. Well, honestly, just eating better for the sake of tennis.
Yeah.
Because, when you're playing tennis, I'll tell you a funny story about why I lost weight.
Okay.
After, not on your podcast.
Do it.
Because this is all right, so everyone, you should listen to the podcast before this one and learn all about Brett and his film When the Clock Stopped. I won't list off all the awards. I'm just going to say you won Best in Fest. Yes. You got the Golden Poppy, the award that Film Invasion Los Angeles gives out for the best featurette in the entire festival.
Yes.
So golf clap.
Yes, thank you.
Golf clap for When the Clock Stopped.
That was such a
that you
fun
wrote
surprise.
And directed.
Yeah. Yes.
It was a fun surprise.
It was.
And amusingly, that's how we first got to meet because I showed up and I was like, dude, the Golden Poppy is still in a bag in the corner. What happened? It was supposed to be given to him during the Q&A.
It was funny because you came out of the darkness because on the side, like, hey, Brett, like you knew me already, and which we did, but not face to face. And I turned around and you just like, come back down. I was like, oh, what's going on? And pulled out the
oh, that's right, because you were already up in the audience talking to friends and all that.
Saying hi to everybody and just, hey, Brett. And just out of the darkness you come and I was, hey.
Out of the dark. That is the funniest thing but it all worked out and it's excellent.
Yes.
And now, as I was trying to say, this podcast is not an interview. This is you answering the Discover Indie Film 4 questions. I call it a 4Qs podcast. Yeah. And those 4 questions are, name 3 films that you love, name an underrated film, name an overrated film, and name a lesser-known film for people to seek out. Obviously, just a fun chance to chat about movies. And
let's do it.
And actually, it reveals something, right? Like, you interview a filmmaker, you get to know where they come from, what inspired them to get into it. But you learn something about somebody when you find out what movies they love, what movies they don't.
Yes.
Because Lord knows, right? When you meet someone and like you have the same favorite movie, it's kind of like having the same favorite sports team, right?
Yeah, yeah. You realize that, there's a deeper connection. Like, oh, okay, why did you like that? Me too. I see.
Yeah, especially if it's something esoteric, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No. All
right. Well, without further ado, and by the way, if you're listening, check the links, clickable links in the show notes. That'll take you to Brett and his work. All right. Now I've done the proper preamble. You want to just jump in and name a couple favorites?
Yes. So I think this goes a reflection of where I grew up. So I grew up in Bakersfield, and it's a very heavy farm and oil community. So we got a lot of roughnecks and a lot of what's the Spanish word? Machismo. Just more of like you have to be. You have to show your work. You have to show that you're the bravado. And with the friend group that I grew up with, I'm very fortunate enough. We were just so close together. Like we're still in a group chat together over 25 years, right? So this is such a just cliche growing up when I was a kid, but it makes sense nowadays in a weird way. And it's Fight Club.
Of course.
I love Fight Club. I love the story from beginning to end, and how actually it was presented, and how it was shot. I feel like as a kid it was one of those like, boys club, like we need that, But I'm in my 30s now, and now it makes sense. It's just like, man, like the way that the world does, as a man, there's certain points you hit in your life where you're like, you got to make yourself, you got to figure out what you want to do instead of what the world is telling you what to do. And there is a deeper underlying meaning of that. And I've gone through it myself where I was just like, I was following just what I was told to do. Like, all right, after this, what now? It's weird. You have that. There's a scene where he's in the tub, and he's talking about his relationship with his father. And each point of his life, he asks his dad, "What do I do now?" And the dad tells him, "Go to college, or now get a job." Like this. These are the steps. And it's not until you break that, you go your own way, that you realize, like, in the beauty of the movie is just, you got to break free and, go against what is being told.
It really is such a special movie because, it can suck you in with just the fighting, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
like the intensity of it is cool.
Yeah.
But then the message is deep and the filmmaking is stunningly good.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like it's secretly an art house film. It almost uses like misguided masculinity and the fact that we're told, like, right, the main character's like, I've never been in a fight.
Yeah, exactly.
And he feels like he needs to.
Yeah.
For no reason, really.
Yeah, exactly.
and it deals with that kind of masculinity in such an intellectual and deep way. And of course, a great film about mental. It's great about so it's so deep that someone could just love it for the fact that it's, and then if someone's got deeper interests in life, like you, as you grow in age, the film just becomes better and better, huh?
Yeah. And it just shows like the natural way of like how boys will be boys when you allow them to, because no matter what, somehow they all of a sudden become together in this brotherhood, and they kind of do like a little soldier-like thing where they're just like, first rule of Fight Club is don't talk about, and they follow these rules. And it's funny how that it just drops into like an alignment like that, where it's not really like a friendship, but more of a brotherhood. They live by a code.
I mean, it kind of predicted what's going on in our society in a way of people lacking community.
Yes.
And seeking community.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So
it's excellent. And of course, Fincher's a pretty talented auteur for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you get two more if you want them.
I will also do something that I loved as a kid and I love now is "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Oh, nice.
Love it. It's a beautiful story about these three little goofballs that are chasing a treasure, but because they keep seeking it, they keep going forward, and they go through this adventure where in the beginning they're run by a guy that they're on like a, I don't know what that's called, like a sawhorse, where a guy's just propelling them on a railroad, telling them, you will find your treasure, but it's not the treasure you seek, and it's just basically the Odyssey written in American times, and it's a man's quest for his treasure is his wife. He's like, I got to get her back, so I'm gonna tell these hooligans that that I'm chained to. We're gonna go get some money, but on the way, they seek adventure, and that's adventure what they found, and their ultimate treasures. They're a hit. Their hit song. Now they're a phenomenal, little group in the South, and they got pardoned by I believe the governor down in, I think, Mississippi. So now they're free. And he was able to get back his wife. It's a beautiful story.
It's a great film, and I bet did you see it like at just the right age too? Like was it one of your first Coen brother films?
Yes, yeah, I believe it was my first. Yeah. And I remember my grandparents brought it over. I didn't see it in theaters. I was too young. The DVD over, and they wanted to watch it with my parents because they're like, oh, my sisters and I. They're like, they wouldn't like this film. We all watch it every time we're together. We watch. It's one of those movies where when we're with our grandparents, we watch it again. I connect with my sisters with it. Yeah, it's just, and it's a silly movie. It's funny.
It actually is silly.
Yeah, it's a silly. There's no like hard undertones, but there is undertones there. There's not. It's. I think it's meant for all ages, but it's like has the cuteness for children to watch, but also has the deeper meaning. Like, I could watch it now, just be, elated, and it's funny. Like the humor in it's pretty funny.
I'll share that I was once lucky enough to be at a screening. I believe it might have been the Blood Simple 20th anniversary or something, and the Coens were there, and they did a Q&A after. And I tell everyone who's a Coen fan this, which is they literally kept referring to themselves as comedy writers. They're like, when you're a comedy writer, and they kept going, when you're writing comedy, like in spite of the seriousness of a lot of their films, they primarily see themselves as entertaining, as writing something funny. And you think about it, like, Fargo is fucking hilarious.
Fargo's, yeah. I saw Fargo was my next Coen Brothers movie. Yeah.
I mean, obviously some of their films are a little more deadpan, but there's a hint of humor. Everything they do.
Yeah.
And they're aware of it. That's their goal.
Yeah. Fargo.
Which is kind of funny because some people try to be Coen clones and they just do like the style and they take it super seriously. And it's like, I'm not sure you're getting it. But anyway, you got one more.
So I have to do now, I'm older. This is I hate to admit this, but I just, it's my love letter to Los Angeles. Growing up 2 hours north, this was my city. So it's my pumpkin spice latte of movies, but I love Drive.
Oh, that's
Came out in 2010, and it's a very straightforward storyline. I think the plot, how it was visually done, and how it's set up, everything's quite simple. It's just beautifully done. Everything kind of synced together real well. The first scene, I just love how the first when it gets into I believe the second scene of the movie, it's all single shot in the car, like inside. You don't realize till afterwards. You're like, oh, that whole series was shot inside of the car. Right before that, and then right after that, they show the beauty of Los Angeles with all the aerial views, and they kind of give you that nostalgic feel. Because as a kid, this was my city coming down the 405 to the 5, and I would look up. We're going to like a Lakers game, and we're hearing, the pregame Kobe Bryant. I was so young, I was excited to see Kobe Bryant. You look up in the sky, there's like 7 helicopters. And it's beautiful, even though 4 of them are police helicopters chasing someone, which you see a police chase every night here. And it's just like, man, you come into this city that's alive. Because I grew up in Bakersfield, so
not far.
It's not far, but Bakersfield's like in the valley, so it's just like everything around us, 3/4 of our view is it's mountains, which is beautiful. But then once you go over the mountains, LA is just a conglomerate of like the hills right next to the ocean. Out there's like the desert. Out here, there's 4 stadiums, and you could every night is alive. And I think that this film represents how you could just get lost in the big city. Like, it shows them driving around, and you're just like, oh, you recognize places. Man, that's in the valley. Like, some people just have a whole different life. Right in North Hollywood, but then 2 miles away, in Burbank or in the hills, it's a whole different story. Just 2 miles away, you know what I mean? And I just, I think it's just how it pulls the nostalgia out from, I think, the audience, what it's trying to do. Because a lot of the music ties in real well. It's the same director that did Bronson. I don't know if you've seen Bronson.
I haven't seen Bronson.
Yeah, it's with Tom Hardy is the lead.
Ooh.
And please look it up. I think it's one of his first films, and it's about this prisoner named Charlie Bronson. It's done so well. There's some monologues.
Nicholas. Oh, that's
Nicholas Refn Rin.
Winding Rin.
Yeah.
REFN. He did that amazing Too Old to Die Young show.
Yeah. Yes.
Which, honestly, I could not believe how much I loved it.
The music he used kind of reminds me of Clockwork Orange. has that like
Yeah.
yeah, like that nostalgic, like I want to say like that heavy synth music pull from it.
No, that what's funny is I forgot about that. Oh, I do. I recall after watching,
Yeah.
after binging Too Old to Die Young. I think it was Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I said to my wife, I'm like, we should watch everything this director's done.
Please watch Bronson.
I will. I will.
Yeah, it's.
And the funny thing is,
Watch it with your wife.
by the way,
please.
I never
think
realized. Like to me, Drive is just this really cool stylistic film, right?
Yeah.
About the Ryan Gosling character and
Yeah.
Carey Mulligan, but I didn't see I was blind to the L.A. love in it.
It's great. And then they go to Echo Park, and it's just like it's masterfully done. On I don't know the budget, but it looks like it's just like it doesn't look like it was ever shot like in a studio. It felt like it was just out and about everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was exactly what I wanted to watch. Because going into it, before I even seen it, I was kind of mistaken of what it was. I was like, Drive, oh, that's gonna be kind of like a Need for Speed type of, like it's gonna be nothing but action, you know. And I like action, but it doesn't tickle my fancy. It's not like it's exactly what I liked. And the character goes through the hero's journey, but no matter what, he will always be the moonlight. He always moonlights as he's a getaway driver. That's why in the end he leaves. When you love something, you got to let him go. He leaves the girl that he loves and the kid. He was a good impression on the kid, but he realizes like he's an outlaw. He doesn't belong. And the city's full of them, so he carried about his business and made sure to keep his who he is.
Hey, you chose 3 films that all work at many levels.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you.
And all 3 are certainly auteur films.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, it always, not that directors are required, but if you write and direct, I would assume you would find auteur cinema appealing because it is a very cool thing when you see a creator's signature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I love that. That's why I appreciate Spike Lee in certain movies because some of his characters break the fourth wall. I love looking at the camera and then they'll have
he's been doing that since the first one, since She's Gotta Have It.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Spike Lee fan. I got friends who are not.
Yeah.
But I think he's good. All right, well, hey, question number 2 is a film you feel is underrated.
Underrated. 25th Hour by Spike Lee.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was going right into it.
Full on confession. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you got to check it out. It's basically a gangster's love letter to New York. And I'm saying that as not being a New York native, but the movie came out, I want to say a couple years right after 9/11. And they kind of romanticize that feeling of New York has and the pressure that everybody's feeling. And Edward Norton's the lead. And I won't go too into depth with it, but it explores this man's, basically it feels like his last day, like time's running out because he's about to go to prison. So he tries to touch everybody that's in his life one last time before he makes the decision if he's actually going to go or run. There's a couple deep scenes in there. I think it's underrated because I don't think it's there's some movies that I love more than movies that do better in theaters where I'm like, oh, this is a movie to watch at home. And it's one of those where sit back, watch at home and kind of be within yourself rather than the F1 like with Brad Pitt that just came out. That's a theater movie. Loved it. Theater. I don't know if I'd watch it at home. Maybe if surround sound, but yeah, 25th Hour is one of those like where you kind of look within, like what would you do in this situation? You have the underlining thing message in the whole movie is somebody did backstab him, so that's a secondary value throughout the whole thing. He knows somebody did, but he's not looking for that. He's just trying to reach and talk to everybody that he's loved and wants everybody to get together and just basically say his goodbyes.
And I mean, Ed Norton and Spike Lee, and Philip Seymour Hoffman, Rosario Dawson.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's a great cast.
See, I missed out on it, and it was 2002.
Yeah, it came out right after 9/11.
Yeah, that's when people weren't quite going back to theaters, I think, and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, I'm way off.
No, it's one of those where when you watch it, you kind of get that feeling of like, damn, like, because everybody in the country felt 9/11, but you always, I like to watch Jon Stewart, and he's just adamant about helping these people that actually been affected, their health been affected by 9/11, these firefighters, and he's like, why hasn't and you always wonder, like, man, it affected this community so much more than just the whole country, and you could see that in the movie. You could kind of feel that overlay of just like, there's kind of brought New York together, the unity of just everybody from everywhere just together.
For sure. Yes. Well, a lot to discuss there that I'll just pass off because, needless to say,
You haven't watched it. So
I could dive, but also
Bronson,
I could just dive.
25th Hour.
But Bronson, 25th Hour. But I mean, I was so tempted to dive and talk about Jon Stewart and all that stuff because, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank goodness.
That's another topic.
And 9/11. And, I'll always remember when dudes from The Daily Show would, like, be in a I believe you use the term roughneck, but in like a rough bar in Alaska, and like people be like, well, 9/11 was really important to me, And it's like so interesting that someone who's never been to New York, was like, that happened to us.
Yeah.
But,
impact. Yeah.
yeah, it's just huge. God, it's hard to think about. Hard to think about how long it's been. All right, well, now comes the fun one.
Yeah.
Maybe you're such a nice person that I'll give you my preamble on overrated. Should I give you the preamble on overrated?
I think
it's just that you're not insulting it.
No.
It could be an excellent film.
It's an amazing film for what it did and made the most highest grossing film of all time.
Oh.
So, overrated, I'd say Avatar.
The first one.
The first one, I mean, they're good movies, but I would only watch Avatar. I got a funny story that I will talk about Avatar in a little bit, but it's a great movie to watch in theaters, but it's basically Dances with Wolves, which I love Dances with Wolves. I grew up as a young child watching that. I've seen it many times, but it's the same movie. And I remember watching that and I was like, this is a ripoff. But it's amazing visually. It's great. It's great. But then I'm just like, oh man, like I've seen this before. I remember I was like, man, this is the storyline. Everything just seems familiar. Oh, it's Dances with the Wolves, and that's what it is. But I mean, I think it's James Cameron did Avatar, right?
James Cameron.
He's amazing. When I say
amazing.
Overrated, I'm not saying it's not a good movie.
But it didn't win. Wait,
it did great.
Yeah,
it did great. And I watched it where we had the
that's right, the 3D glasses for that one.
It was great. I was just like, oh man, I wish there was some. It was like the storyline was somewhat. I don't know if you could, but yeah, I would say it's a great movie. It's just overrated.
Sure.
Some people are just like, oh, that's the best movie. Like, I'm gonna watch it again. I was like, yeah, I think we've all seen this before. A decade or two before.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it since like the first year it came out. Like I might have seen it a second time when it first came out on, HBO or something.
Yeah.
Because it was, of course, pre-streaming.
So speaking of HBO, I come home, and this is when I'm in college, and my friend and I come home, and went to the backyard. We just got done smoking pot, and I don't know what happens, but we go sit down, we turn on TV, and we're watching Avatar. And it wasn't until probably 20 minutes in we realized, oh, we're watching this in Spanish. Because we thought they were talking in the Avatar language. And the whole time we're sitting there, and I remember I was just like, I think I understand their language somehow, and we're just sitting there. And we're watching, it's ESP or HBO Espanol or something like that. So it was just like, oh, because the other HBO had the same movie. It's just everything else is in Spanish. So we're sitting there. I remember I was just like, what? Dude, we're watching this in Spanish. It didn't take but 20 minutes. And it was just like, oh, man. So that was my Avatar story. And I remember I was just like, we're not watching Avatar.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. But it does back up that theory. Like I do sometimes I some films are visual enough, right?
Yeah.
That like you can watch a film in French and just ignore the subtitles and just enjoy and just keep your eyes on that screen.
Yeah. It drew us in. I mean, we were under the influence, but it was just but we genuinely thought that there was, because they speak their language.
Yeah.
And it was the scene right when we turn on, they're talking to each other. So, Then the main characters started speaking, and it was in Spanish, and we just thought they were speaking.
All of a sudden, Sigourney Weaver's speaking Spanish, and you're like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah. It wasn't like, they were like, this whole thing's been in Spanish
20
for
minutes.
20 minutes, and we were just like, So that's my story on Avatar.
I'm sure the colors and visuals were very I've never seen it high. But there's a lot of other things I would probably watch.
Yeah. There's before then.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's in theaters again, like the IMAX now, like the laser IMAX theaters, I'm sure it'd be splendid to watch high. The last movie I saw where the visuals were great was Mario.
Oh yeah,
I believe 2 years ago. Yeah, that's such a great movie, fun movie.
You know, it's funny because aren't they doing didn't they plan out like 5 or 6 Avatar sequels?
I know,
like they planned it out, but then if the first, I don't know if they're going to finish it all because they just took too long. It was they couldn't capitalize on the momentum it had when it first came out. I don't know.
I saw the second one.
Maybe I'll I'm just wait till they're done and then maybe binge them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got one question left. A lesser known film for people to seek out.
This film came out around the same time the comedy Superbad came out, and it's called Hot Rod, and it's also a comedy.
The Andy Samberg one.
Yeah, Danny McBride, and I believe like the Lonely Island, that crew. It came out, and it just reminded me of just home, just he has this like rivalry to get this stepdad, and he just wants to show like he could be a man. Stepdad just always just tossing him around, and his friends, they're just like, yeah, let's do that. We got to, you got to show that you like this girl, and it's just the whole plot, the whole storyline just reminds me of home. Just like kids just having to make up their own fun. There's a shot where they're outside of a convenience store. One of them's doing like just random moves to entertain the other one. The other one's like, yeah. And it's just like, it just reminds me of home. It's just because, Bakersfield, we don't have a beach. So, we don't have, we had to make up our own fun things to do. Half of it got us in trouble, but it was just mischievous stuff. And I just think the writing of it, when you don't have as many tools, the brilliance come out in the writing and the comedy and how it's shown. So I think Hot Rod. I think everybody should sit down, if they're looking for a comedy they haven't seen. And like I said, it came out the same time as Superbad. And Superbad was great. So, well, then everybody's like, oh, they want to watch Superbad again, or, what came out that's fun this year, Superbad. Hot Rod, yeah, it's right up. I think it's right up there with it. In comedy,
I've heard that. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And even though I really like Andy Samberg and I really like Palm Springs and other things he's done since then, I just somehow missed Hot Rod. But I've heard you're not the first person to mention Hot Rod as a. Some people make it they're underrated. Some people make it lesser known. Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah,
I trust you. I'm gonna have to watch Hot Rod, especially because I like him.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a fun, easy. It's one of the easy movies. Nothing. It's one of those movies that I got 2 hours to kill, and I just feel like relaxing, like after you played tennis or something. Just throw on Hot Rod, Not one of those where it's like, all right, let's prep for the night. There's certain movies you're like, oh, I'm excited for, like get the popcorn ready. You can, but Hot Rod's one of those. Just there'll be senses of like nostalgic childhood flashbacks that will happen. It's happened to me, but I think it happens to everybody when watching it.
And every once in a while, there's just a comedy like that, right? That just, it's been a while. But I mean, you mentioned Superbad. I remember in Superbad, like Bridesmaids. Like every once in a while, there's just a comedy that's just like, you can just watch over and over and over.
Yeah.
It's really special.
Yeah.
It is.
I just watched Bridesmaids again. I want to say on the flight back from New Orleans. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, there's certain comedies that you forget about, and you're like, oh, I forgot about this. Which nowadays is like, you either see it on the streaming services or you don't. You know, back before the streaming services, when you had normal cable, what I do miss about that is just turning it on and you're in the middle of the movie. You're like, I forgot about this movie, you know? And sometimes you get able to rewind it and watch it all the way through. And
yeah, that is that I bemoan that all the time on this podcast, that the streaming era has killed repeat watching for me, and I think most people, because now we have too many choices. Whereas when when it was whatever HBO or Showtime was showing, like, you know, or you didn't have it recorded to your DVD, you know, like we used to watch movies over and over. Like you really got to know them. And now,
that's true.
In general, it's a hard sell to like, well, let's rewatch that.
Yeah. Paralysis by choice. There's times where at night where I'll spend 20 minutes trying to choose a movie rather than already knowing like, oh, this is what time it comes on, or this is what I'm doing. I've already been done with the food that I ate, and I'm just like, oh, we didn't even pick anything yet. Yeah,
I know it's tricky. Amusingly, I tend to want the ones I watch a second time are the ones that I didn't like. Generally, if my wife and I don't like a film, and then people keep saying how good it is, we'll be like, were we right? Maybe we should revisit it. Maybe sometimes you're in a bad mood or something. Sometimes just the wrong time. And then we watch it again and like, no, we're right. Everyone else is wrong. That's a disappointing.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I'm lucky to be partnered up with someone with similar tastes to me. So we don't argue about movies. We tend to agree.
Does she watch as much as you? Like when you like sit down and watch, she just is.
She'll actually, there's an argument with the exception of she watches more than I do. Like she watches a lot of the festival submissions with me. But then, like, when I go do something, like if I got to go to a film festival event or like a mix or something, like she'll just watch a movie or two without me. Like she is one of those people that likes the TV on.
Okay.
Like she likes, in fact, she's like, I don't want to eat a meal until the TV's on.
Okay. Yeah.
so if I cook for her, I put the plate in front of her. She's like, all right, put on X so I can start eating. It's very funny. But yeah, she loves. Especially indie film.
Does she know, like, obviously she probably does, but she probably has seen a film without you, then probably you would like this. Like, has she ever done that? Like, this is a film that I think you would like, or?
It's funny. She doesn't. I have that gene. I don't think she has the recommendation gene.
Okay.
She's, although I guess sometimes. But, like, I see something I like and I want everyone in the world to see it. She sees something she likes and she's content.
Yeah.
She's more at peace than me, I think.
Okay.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say
Everybody
it.
takes in film differently.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So, lesser known is Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
I really want you to watch, Bronson.
Yeah, I know. I guess Bronson can also be a second lesser known because, I mean, I'd heard of Hot Rod, but I hadn't even heard of Bronson. Yeah. Even though I was really impressed with that director.
Yeah, please watch it.
From watching that one show and then watching and then seeing, right? That's what we do. We want while we're watching, while we're streaming at night. How often are we looking at IMDb?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, where do I know that actor from?
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a distraction.
It is. I do that. I'll find myself in a rabbit hole and I forget why I looked it up in the first place. I'll looked off 3 other movies. I'm like, I gotta watch this later. Why did I look at this actor in the first place? Oh, because of this. It's just like YouTube sometimes. You just get lost in the sauce. And you're just like, why am I listening?
You get totally lost. And then like, yeah. So I try to have the no phone rule, but it's tough. It's tough.
It is. And I'll stress this again. Like the Bronson one has a perfect mix of I think I could touch base on kind of things that you enjoy. I think it's a good blend of something that I think you'd be like, I'm glad I watched that. Yeah. Like I said, I think it's Tom Hardy's one of his earlier movies. He's a young Tom Hardy.
Well, did you happen to watch that director's he did
he did Drive.
Well,
after
yeah,
that.
the guy who did Drive with the last name, I bet it's pronounced Rain or something, but it's spelled Refn, his
Yeah.
last name. But he did I believe it was on Netflix. It might have been Amazon, but it was a show called, it was called Too Old to Die Young, and it was starring Miles Teller.
Okay.
And
I haven't seen that. So
every episode is an art house film. Mm-hmm. Like every episode is pure art house, and it's pretty amazing.
does he do well with the music overlay? Is that he's really good with that? The movies
You'll love it. But like you're watching this, I'm like, and I was like, how? And then I looked him up on IMDb. I'm like, oh, so Drive was a hit, and Netflix was like, okay, you can do. I should look it up, but I think it's like 7-8 episodes each. They range from an hour to hour and a half.
I like Miles Teller.
It's just a series of movies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Miles Teller really is the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
After Whiplash, he could have been a one flash in the pan, but no, he's really lasted.
He did well in Top Gun.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Have you seen it? Yeah.
Well, I joke. They didn't need me.
Yeah.
I think it did just fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll do the wrap up.
Yes.
All right. We got your list done, and I got homework to do, particularly Hot Rod and Bronson. But I also have to watch 25th Hour.
Yes, please do.
Totally
Please do.
have to.
Yeah. I think 25th Hour and Bronson are the ones where it's at night, eating popcorn or, just.
And I think Ed Norton is one of those actors who fucks it all up for us because he's actually super cool. Like, sometimes you watch movies and you're like, and then like you're disappointed with like the interviews and stuff. But every interview I've heard with Ed Norton is just blows me away.
Yeah.
It's very, very deep, impactful guy.
I love Ed Norton. I love Fight Club. So that as a kid, I grew up watching
he
him.
popped up on your list at least twice.
Yeah, and I think Spike Lee really comes out in this one, and I think why he comes out so well is just right after something huge happened in New York, and he's such a New York guy. Like he's all about like this is my city. He's always at the Knicks games. He's one of those that's just like certain directors or certain actors or people just like this is my city. He's that, and I think it's displayed well. I think everything in the movie.
Oh my God, the list of his films that are both love letters and critiques of New York, it's long. I mean, it's probably more than half of them.
Yeah.
Because he is.
You're going to see him through 25th Hour. There's like there's the fourth wall break, and the Spike Lee moment comes out, and you're just like, his signature.
Look, I'm just lucky to be just a few years younger than Spike, and I got to see She's Gotta Have It in theaters on its first release.
Oh, really?
So I've been with him from the beginning. You know, I mean, that film was like a revelation when it hit.
Yeah.
Everyone gives other films credit for the indie, but like we wouldn't have had Tarantino I think She's Gotta Have It was like the first really big Sundance indie to like just absolutely blow everyone away.
When was that? Was that 91?
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
I know it probably was, but it was after Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Sex, Lies, and Videotape success also might have but I think it just defined like a Sundance film. I don't know. All right. I'm babbling. Let me wrap us up.
Wrap it up.
All right. First of all, thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for listening to us. If you are listening to this is the Discover Indie Film Podcast. Be kind. Like, subscribe, write a review. As I say, not jokingly at the end of every podcast now, when you do something kind, you actually help yourself more than the person you're being kind to. So be selfish and be kind to everyone all the frickin' time. All the fucking time, actually. All right, so anyway, if you want to learn more about this podcast, go to discoverindiefilm.com. On social media, it's always at DIFWins. If you go to discoverindiefilm.org, that is the nonprofit that runs 2 film festivals in the LA area. They are both ranked in Film Freeway's top 100 best reviewed list out of 14,000 in the world. So we are proud of that, and that is the Discover Indie Film Foundation. You can learn about that if you go to discoverindiefilm.org. Discoverindiefilm.org has links to Film Invasion Los Angeles, where Brett's film won Best in Fest when the clock stopped. And also Sherman Oaks Film Festival that we hold every December. That When the Clock Stops is an official selection for December as well.
I know. I'm so excited.
And jurors are watching. All right, rubbing the hands together. and oh yes, and then those two festivals are getting their, I call them sister festivals. They're getting their cousin next year. January 16th and 17th in Lima, Peru. We're having Film Invasion Lima.
That's awesome.
So people should buy plane tickets. I don't know.
International presence.
I know, right?
The weather should be great.
It's going to be hot AF.
Yeah.
Because actually,
it's going to be
Chevy, who's the festival runner down in Lima.
Yeah.
Like they were like, no, like summer nights are huge down here, so let's, I guess it's high altitude, so it's not like, but it'll probably be like shorts and flip flops day and night.
Okay.
Which I love, obviously. That's what we kind of have here too.
Yeah. It's gonna be.
I love the summer.
I wonder if I know some places. I wonder if it's one of those places where people have the nightlife later. You know how people eat dinner later at certain countries?
I guarantee it's an all-night city.
Yeah.
It's Latin American culture with the Spanish influence. I bet everyone takes that siesta right before dinner, and then you go out for dinner at 8, and you come home at 2 in the morning.
Yeah. Are you gonna be down there?
I think so, but I don't know. Chevy doesn't listen to this, I don't think. Thank goodness. But I don't know the prices. I didn't grab a plane ticket when they were at their low, and my Google flight tracker, like, it just popped up really expensive again.
Really?
And like,
I mean, is it because of what's going down with the?
I don't know if
FAA
that's what's
shutdown,
happening. I think it's just a time. Prices go up and down.
So seasonal. Okay.
It's just it's actually coming 6 weeks after Sherman Oaks Film Festival and after the holidays, and I'm not sure.
You have a lot on your plate.
Sure, I want. Yeah, exactly. A lot on the plate. I need to say, I'm not sure I want to throw it on a credit card, and then this is silly for me to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
No. I know. Yeah. I'm willing.
Yeah.
It's silly for me to talk about while I'm recording, because I'm like, yes, it's true. When you run a nonprofit, you're not rolling in it, so I can't exactly be like, I can just go down here. I blew it because tickets were under $500 for a few weeks. Mm-hmm. I didn't grab one, and now it's up at $1,000 again.
I don't know.
And $1,000 to go down there for a couple days. Ooh, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. Have you been?
I've never been. The only city in South America I've ever been to is Cartagena, Colombia, and I loved it.
I've been to Colombia. I was not in Cartagena. I was in Medellin and Bogota.
Oh.
Loved it.
You went on a little Narcos trip.
It's a beautiful. I love the mountains. It's beautiful. It's a very mountainous country. I believe it's the only country in South America that has a coastline, but the 3 biggest cities, including the capital, are not on the coast.
Yeah.
Every other country has their capital.
Yeah, normally the port city is a big deal.
Yeah. So
Cartagena is a gorgeous port city, but I bet it's very similar to Lima, because the theater that they selected in Lima is in the heart of the Spanish Quarter downtown.
Man, that sounds so fun.
And you go to Cartagena and it's a fairly modern city, but a normal city, and then there's a walled city that's like the medieval Spanish wall, and then inside is just all of a sudden it's like you're in Valencia, Spain.
I was about to ask, it had Spanish influence.
Oh yeah, the conquistadors.
Yeah.
Needless to say, it's complex nowadays to praise what the Spanish did down there.
Yeah.
But they built some beautiful architecture. But raping and pillaging cannot be denied.
Yeah.
But it's why you
everywhere.
go to Madrid and there's big, beautiful museums. It's terrible. Yeah. The history, human history is...
yin and yang, there's black and white.
I know. There's very few great human accomplishments that didn't kick the shit out of the less advantaged.
Yeah.
Because
sacrifice somewhere in any type of movement forward, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, people don't talk about it, but the age of exploration was really about let's explore this globe, and anything we find, we'll take all the gold.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
they didn't realize they were giving disease out. They didn't realize just how diseased they were.
The fear of the unknown will make anybody kind of flex up, and I don't know that poem. Now take it over. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
and of course, like greed, exploration.
Greed, Look, one of the most beautiful places. I mean, obviously, all the European capitals are gorgeous, but man, that Royal Palace in Madrid. It's an amazing tour, and but the whole time you're like, wow, this is because they sent ships all over the world and just took stuff.
Yeah. The yin and yang is.
All right, Brett, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you, everyone, for listening.